In this video, let's talk about real estate investing in your 20s or 30s, even your 40s. Whatever age you're in, you can start. And I will show you three ways how you can start investing in real estate in your 20s without spending a lot of money, but still end up earning millions. I will also share my biggest mistake in real estate investing in my 20s so that you won't make the same mistake. So, hi, deal makers. My name is Ronald Kagape. I'm the author of the book No Money Down Formula in Real Estate. I wrote this book to help people buy real estate with little or none of their own money. And I started investing at age 27, buying a six-door apartment with little of my own money, simply because I did not have a lot of money at that time. So, I'm going to share with you so let me share what I've learned from my own experience and the experiences of my clients and my friends. Let me start by saying that now is the best time to invest in real estate. Well, the truth is, it was 20 years ago, okay? But we cannot go back in time. So the second best time to invest in real estate is now. Now, there are similarities from 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we had a lot of foreclosed properties. We had a lot of cheap property lying around. The economy was not doing well. The 1997 financial crisis just finished, and I guess we were just starting our path to recovery. So, similar to now, the pandemic is still ongoing, the economy is still struggling, and we can expect, I guess, the economy to still be in the same way until we can have vaccinations for everyone. So while things are difficult, now is actually the best time to get started. And there's one thing that's really working for us, our demographic profile. This is very important in real estate and even the economy. It has been seen that economies that have this kind of economic or that have this kind of demographic profile will actually benefit in economic growth in the years to come because it's the young people that will drive the performance of the economy forward. We have more young workers, more productive workers, and that does more economic potential in our country. So we can see here from the demographic profile on the y-axis on the center, that is the age. So from 0 all the way to 100. And as we go up in age, there's less and less people. There's more the most number is over here at the young before the age of 20. That's the biggest segment of our population. And then it goes less and less as we go up the ladder. The same cannot be said for Japan. This is how Japan's demographic profile looks like. They have a lot of old people, a lot of senior citizens, and a lot of middle aged people, and less of the young ones. So that's why in this scenario, you can't expect real estate to benefit in the future because there's less and less people that will drive the demand for real estate. Now compare that with the Philippines. The Philippines has a population of 109 million and we have a growth rate of 1.72%. It's positive. What this means is that every year we have 1.87 million new babies, new Filipinos being born per year. Sure, we have people who are migrating, but in terms of growth rate, we still have very, very huge population growth rate, and that will continue to drive demand for real estate as these people grow. They will need to find homes of their own. They will need to have their own places to stay in. So that's why you can expect that at least for the next 20, 30 years, real estate prices will continue to go up. And because that is the trend that we can observe, we should be investing today, now, while the economy is hard, while there are while there are favorable terms being offered. And let me share with you, the first way that you can get started investing in your 20s. The first method is called the Nomad Method. So with nomads, right, they don't have a permanent home. They pitch tent in one place. They let their livestock, graze on the surroundings, and uh, once there's no more food for their livestock, they would move on to the next place and another. So we're not exactly going to be pitching tents, but the idea with the nomad method is you buy your first home, you live there for a couple of years, and then when you upgrade, you don't sell your first home. So the idea here is while you're living in your first home, you're already buying the next one. You're already paying for the next one so that you can live there. And when you upgrade, you don't sell the first one, you just rent it out. So you can get passive income. So you keep upgrading and keep buying new homes, and then the ones that you bought before, so you let the properties increase in value, and as the properties increase in value, the rents will also increase. So the idea here is you don't keep your rental stagnant, right? As inflation hits the country, as prices increase, then you also raise your rents. And that is reasonable to expect. You can also sell the earliest properties. The first ones that you bought, maybe they have increased massively in value already. And maybe at that time, it makes sense to sell them so that you can buy a multi-unit property for rent. Well, that in a nutshell is the nomad method. To make it a little bit more clear, let's look at an example. So one of my clients, one of my friends, my office mates, bought a condo in Ivory Wood in 2015 for 3.4 million. So I was their agent at that time. Now the total turnover is 2019, so they had around 4 months to pay for this condo. Now the idea is by once you have finished paying, right? Once you have finished paying the down payment, you can move in by the year 2020 and then start to pay for one more property, this time with a turnover of 2025. So you set a goal that you will buy properties every 5 years. Now, if you cannot afford 3.4 million, that's fine. The Nomad method works whatever the price point. You could start with, say, a 500,000 peso property from Pag-ibig or a 1 million peso property. Now, whatever property you can afford, the idea is just to get started, buy that first home while you can still afford it. So that is the nomad method. Now, by 2025, you can now move into the new condo, right? And then you rent out the Ivory Wood condo for say let's say rent it out for 45,000, or maybe let's say you can rent it out just for 35, even though right now rental rates are at around 35,000 in that area. Okay. Then you can also buy three new condos with the increase in your salary and added rental income by 2025. So that is the nomad method. You keep moving, you keep upgrading, and the ones that you bought before, you don't sell them, you just rent them out. In the next method, it's to flip contracts. So different from the nomad method. In the nomad method, you live in the property. When you're flipping contracts, you don't live in the properties. In fact, you don't wait until turnover to receive the property. What you usually do is you sell the contract immediately. So you buy pre-selling properties early. Try to buy them during the launch because that is usually the cheapest that they will ever be. And as the developer introduces price increases, then it's going to be more difficult for people to buy properties in the area. So you will have the opportunity to sell your contract to them if they're looking for a bargain. But even though you sell it at below the price that the developer is offering, you can still make a profit because you bought it early. You bought it at the lower price. So the idea is to sell the contract before the turnover once the price has increased massively. And then you use the profits to buy more contracts that you can flip again later on. Then at any time, you can decide to shift to the nomad method. Like if you like a particular property and you really want to live there, you really want to move there, then go ahead. You have the freedom to mix and match all of these strategies. It all depends on you. Okay. So for example, let's go back to the same example that we had earlier. You bought an Ivorywood condo in Acacia Estates in 2015 for 3.4 million, and you were paying 21,000 per month for 46 months. Now, during the pre-selling period, you decide to sell the unit because now the unit is worth 4.5 million, maybe a little bit higher. Maybe the developer is offering it at 4.6, 4.7, so you have the opportunity to sell it at 4.5, and you have made, say, you've already paid around 600,000. So you already have a balance of 2.8 million. Still have a balance of 2.8 million. Now you're able to sell at 4.5. So how much do you get? 4.5 minus 2.8 equals 1.7 million. So that is your profit. Even though you have not completed the down payment, you can still get 1.7. So the profit is 1.7 minus zero point 0.6 because you put in 600,000. So you get a net profit of 1.1 million, which leads to a return of 183%. So that is an awesome return for like 4 years of investing. You have more than doubled your money. So flip, that's how flipping contracts can make millions for you. Of course, you don't stop at that. You then use the 1.7 million, right? You receive the 1.7 million that still has your 600,000. You use that to buy new pre-selling projects. What you can do is you can take out the 600,000, right? Because that was your original investment, and then just put that 1.1 million to risk. Now that 1.1 million is free money, right? So how many projects can you buy with 1.1 million? Of course, that depends on you. That depends on your situation. But the idea here is to keep on flipping contracts, roll over your profits so that you keep building up your capital. So do you like making millions? Well, if you do, please make sure to hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. This helps YouTube share this video to more people. And it also tells me that you like videos like this. So the more likes I get from these videos, the more encouraged that I will get in producing more videos like this. So make sure to hit the like button. Next up is a concept that is called house hacking. What is house hacking? The idea with house hacking is you buy a property, or you pay the down payment yourself, you invest the down payment, but you get financing and you let other people pay for your financing, pay for your mortgage. How do you do that? You rent out the property, right? This allows you to buy property almost free when you combine house hacking with the acquisition strategies, the buying strategies that I taught, in a previous video. It's somewhere up here. Um, I taught some strategies for buying properties with little or no money down. So when you combine no money down strategies with house hacking, it would allow you to buy property almost free. Okay, so let's look at an example. The idea here is you buy a bigger house than what you need so that you will have portions that you can rent out. Or you can buy a multi-unit property. Maybe you can buy a two-door property or a three-door property. You live in one and then you rent out the other two, as long as the numbers make sense. Okay? You rent out the portions that you don't use. So this can work even if you only buy a single unit. So like for example, the Ivorywood condo that we mentioned earlier, that is actually a two-bedroom condo. So you could live in one room and then you can rent out the other room. So you just rent out the portions that you don't use. And then you use the rentals to pay for your loan. So it's really as simple as that. The idea here is hopefully the rentals will be more than enough to pay for your amortization. Or sometimes that's not the case. Okay, the idea here is try to get the rentals or try to get the amortization as low as possible so that the rentals will be able to cover your monthly amortization. Again, let's look at an example. Going back to the Ivorywood condo for 3.4 million, you paid a 20% down payment, and then you got a loan of 2.72 million. So let's say that you get a loan from a bank and you're paying 7% interest for the next 20 years. Now, the monthly amortization for that is around 20,000 per month. So with an amortization of 20,000 per month, what you can do is since you have two bedrooms, you can put in one double deck bed per room. So you have two double deck beds. You actually have four beds in total, and you can rent out the three other beds for, let's say, 7,500 per month. Now, who would rent 7,500 per month? Well, Ivory Wood is actually near BGC. And in BGC, the cheapest rent that you can get is around 25,000 pesos already. Now, outside of BGC, you could get rentals for 7,500 or maybe 8,000. But these places are not exactly the nicest neighborhoods to live in. Compared to Ivorywood, well, Ivorywood is a resort type condominium. Now, it has swimming pool, it has a basketball court, it has a peaceful neighborhood. It is secure. You have security guards. No, you don't have uh, people roaming around that you don't know. So it's a very safe environment. And you now have enough rental income to cover monthly amortization plus some of the expenses. Your three other tenants are paying for your house, paying for your condo while you are living in your condo, right? So that frees up a lot of your money. What can you do with that excess funds? Then you can buy another condo, right? That's the cool thing with house hacking. Other people are paying for your house, okay? They're paying for your condo, and now you free up some of your cash flow to buy more condos, and you can continue applying this method, renting it out and letting other people pay for your real estate empire. Now, all of these methods are great, but I made a huge mistake. And this is my biggest mistake, the real estate investing in my 20s. If you remember, I told you that I bought a six-door apartment at age 27. I actually bought that apartment with partners. And the idea there was to sell the six-door apartment via rent to own. So my biggest mistake was that I sold the properties that I bought in my 20s. My idea then was to buy and sell, buy and flip, accumulate capital so that I can buy a multi-unit apartment, enough, when I have enough capital already. Unfortunately, things happened and I wasn't successful, implementing that strategy. So my advice for you guys is don't copy that mistake. Okay. Whatever profit that you have, immediately just buy more real estate. Whatever you can afford, accumulate more and more units so that you'll be able to build your small real estate empire. But the idea here is really get started even in your 20s. Because the idea with real estate, as you have seen earlier, is you don't wait to buy real estate. Right? You buy real estate and then you wait. Right? You buy early in a pre-selling condominium, or a pre-selling subdivision, and then you wait until it appreciates in value. Now, while waiting, you can live in that place, using the Nomad method. Or if you're already living in a home that you like, you can wait for the project that you bought to appreciate, and once it does, you flip it to the next person, and you keep doing that until you accumulate enough capital so that you can buy more and more bigger and more profitable properties. But I still have a bonus for you, right? What if you don't have the cash flow to pay for a pre-selling property? Or what if you don't have enough money to pay for the down payment? Or maybe you're just not ready. You have the money, but you're not quite sure if real estate is for you. If you like to rent out or you like to manage, you like to live with other people. Well, the cool thing here is I'm going to share with you a fourth option. And the fourth option is called lease hacking. Right? So it's very similar. It's very similar to house hacking, but the difference is you don't buy the property, you just lease it. Right? So there's less capital involved because you pay less money up front because you only pay for the advance rent and the security deposit. In many cases, that's just around 2 months or 3 months at most. This allows you to learn how to run a rental property at low cost. So for example, you rent an unfurnished one-bedroom unit in Gateway Regency. This is in Pioneer, in the Pioneer Boni, Mandaluyong area. The idea here is to rent a place where there are a lot of tenants. There are a lot of potential tenants because there are people working in the area. Ideally, it it would be unfurnished because the unfurnished units are the cheapest. But if you can find a furnished property that is also at a reasonable rent, then go ahead and do that. I'm just showing here the numbers for your guidance. So for example, you're able to rent a condo unit, a one-bedroom unit for 14,000. You furnish the unit yourself with a double deck that has a pull-up bed. So that's 3 beds inside the bedroom. You, on the other hand, you can sleep in a sofa bed in the living room. So you rent out the beds for maybe 7,000 or 6,000. That depends on you. So 7,000 times 3 is equal to 21,000 pesos. So 21,000 minus 14, which is the rent that you got. So you get 7,000 per month income. You get free rent, right? You don't need to pay for your rent while you are working nearby, and that frees up your money and you get additional cash flow 7,000 that you can use to buy your first property. So you can test out lease hacking if you don't have enough money to buy a property already or you're not yet confident or you that you can do house hacking and you can test out lease hacking. So those are the four strategies that I talked about in this video. Now we start with the Nomad method, where you buy properties, you live in there, and then you continue buying. And the ones that you bought in the past, you rent it out. The next one is you flip contracts. So maybe you already own your own home and you don't want to move already, then you can just flip contracts. You buy pre-selling properties early and then you flip the contract for millions. You can also do house hacking. Now you let other people pay for your mortgage, right? You buy a property, you live there, but you rent out the unused portions to other people so that you can make them pay for your own property. And if you don't want to commit that much money to house hacking just yet, you're not quite sure if you can do that, you can also do lease hacking. You don't buy the property, you rent it first, and then you rent out the unused portions. Now you have these four strategies. Please let me know what you will use in the comment section. Let me know which ones you will use. Are you going to use the Nomad method? Are you going to try to flip contracts? Would you try out house hacking or would you try out lease hacking? Please let me know which of these methods appeals most to you in the comment section below. And don't forget to smash the like button if you like these methods. Hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. This helps YouTube share this to more people, and this helps me to grow the channel. If you like more content like this, please make sure or please consider to subscribe to the channel to get more real estate investing content. And not just that, and to learn or to get more tips investing in multiple asset classes. You can also check out our real estate investing playlist, and you can also check out the other videos in the channel. So again, hit the like button, subscribe, and always remember it's always a good day to make deals, and may all of your deals push through. See you in our next video.